Welcome to the 8 Minute Sermon Podcast. Thank you for working through the Bible with me. This week's text is from 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 17 through 21, which in the ESV reads, "And if you call on him as Father, who judges impartially according to each one's deeds, conduct yourselves with fear throughout the time of your exile, knowing that you were ransomed from the futile ways inherited from your forefathers, not with perishable things such as silver or gold, but with the precious blood of Christ, like that of a lamb without blemish or spot. He was foreknown before the foundation of the world, but was made manifest in the last times for the sake of you, who through him are believers in God, who raised him from the dead and gave him glory, so that your faith and hope are in God." When I was a kid, my next door neighbor was a postman. I called him my neighbor the postman. In many ways, he was an anachronism. Every day after work, he would stand out in his front yard and interact with all the kids in the neighborhood. It's something you don't see very often anymore. I was obsessed with basketball back then, and I had a hoop in my driveway. My neighbor the postman would sometimes walk over and shoot with me. He didn't wear basketball clothes. He was normally in a white t-shirt, some yard shorts, and a cheap pair of sneakers called Ruse. Now, Ruse advertised that they included pockets so you could carry coins or keys without having to worry about having pockets in your pants. Their tagline was Ruse, shoes for your feet, pockets for your stuff. Being a kid, I'd sometimes give my neighbor the postman grief about his athletic attire, especially his shoes. But he owned it. He took to shooting long-range rainbow shots, and at the top of the arc, he would yell, "Ruse! Shoes for your feet, pockets for your stuff." I loved that man. He died a few years ago, and when he did, I learned that I wasn't the only kid in the neighborhood who revered him. Several of us showed up at his funeral, at the height of COVID, no less. One of the kids from my street even officiated the ceremony. It would have mortified me if I ever thought I had disappointed him. I hope I never did. Even as an adult, I would come around from time to time, tell him about my new job, receive his challenge when I was elected to the school board, share the things going on with my kids. Well into my 40s, I would get great joy out of making him smile or laugh. I was filled with pride when he approved of something I did. When Peter uses the word fear in this passage, that's what he means. He's not saying that we should be terrorized or that we should be living in fear of punishment from God. He's saying that we should have a reverential awe of God, that we should take God seriously, that we should strive to live holy lives, and that we should do everything in our power to avoid disappointing him. And why not? After all, what God has done for us is so much more than simply take an interest. He ransomed us, freed us from the chains of sin, from immortal servitude to death. And he bought that freedom with the most precious commodity the world has ever known: the blood of Christ, the Lamb without blemish or spot. which is more valuable than silver or gold. God did all of this out of an abundance of grace, but we ought not take that grace for granted. God is still an impartial judge. Salvation was by grace, but we still have to face him one day, and when we do, he will be unrelenting in his honest assessment of how we responded to his grace. We don't risk losing our salvation. That's secure. But we do risk disappointing him. What will God be looking for? That's simple. He tells us over and over and over again. Here's a reminder from Ecclesiastes. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Fear God. Hold him in reverential awe. Keep his commandments. Do what he asks us to do. Fearing God's not about suffering. It's about loving. Loving him so much that we'll do anything we can to make him smile, to make him laugh, to make him nod his head in approval.